All right, thank God it's Friday. Good morning, Nigeria and beyond. You are tuned in to Daybreak Live Extra right here on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun.
And I am Pat Aite. Good morning, Samson.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. What a beautiful Friday it is. Calm skies across most parts of the country today. The weather forecast shows clear conditions in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and most major cities. Perfect day to wind down the work week and enjoy some fresh inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's Extra Edition, and as always, it is packed with deep conversations, trending issues, and uplifting stories. So grab your coffee, tea, or cold zobo, wherever you may get that this morning. And let's dive into today's edition of Daybreak Live Extra.
Exactly. We begin with Daybreak News, bringing you top stories making waves this morning. From politics to community issues, economy to entertainment, we've got it all covered.
Then we roll into the newspaper headline review and analysis, breaking down what the front pages are screaming this Friday. And trust us, there is plenty to talk about.
Absolutely right. Now to our first big story today. As schools close for the long vacation, actually, many parents are asking, what next? How do we keep our children engaged, emotionally balanced, and safe during this long summer break?
Exactly. This season is not just about fun and games. It's a delicate period where intentional parenting matters more than ever. Right. Joining us to shed light on this is Nimi Aditiro, a mental health advocate and trauma healing coach. She'll be helping us unpack how parents can navigate this period, balance responsibilities, and nurture emotional wellness for their children.
Then, in our second feature story, we'll take a beautiful journey through the world of gospel music. What does it really take to stay grounded, creative, and spiritually inspired in Nigeria's ever-evolving gospel music scene?
And then joining us is none other than Adesola Akonde, widely known as Desola Focus, a passionate gospel artist whose music and message are blessing lives. We'll talk about our beginnings, our challenges, our inspirations, and what the future holds. Yeah.
Definitely, and of course, we round it all up with TrendWatch, your go-to spot for top trending issues in Nigeria today. From governance to society, youth culture to policy shift, you don't want to miss that.
So whether you are on your way to work or at home relaxing or prepping for a busy weekend, Daybreak Live Extra adds something just for you, so you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, you're right. So let's get started. It's Friday, it's Dominion Television, and this is Daybreak Live Extra. Good morning once again. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Okay, as we do on Fridays, before, I get fined for not doing that. Exactly. Good morning, Queens.
Yes. Yes, our king. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, you all. Sometimes it's Friday, actually. She will always say, oh, when it's about to get to the weekend, you are always excited. Yeah, it should be like that. You know that there are so many other extracurricular activities you can actually, do during the weekend. So like that, especially when you are always happy to do extracurricular activities. So you always be happy the weekend is almost here. Yes. But then we'll be talking about something really interesting, especially to parents at this time. Now that the schools are closing down, the breaks are here.
Long vacation.
What exactly do parents need to do at this time? Many a times people think, well, it is the same when they are in school and then when they are not. But then, hey, if you have a 9-to-5 job, these are things you really need to look at. When you are not there, what will happen to your children? I mean, it calls for concern at this time.
Well, this long vacation, for me as a parent, I would just want the parent out there, our viewer, to just do something. And that is, this period is always cold. So you need to just get a cardigan for your kids if they are still young, and whatever it is that you're going to give them should be hot and not something maybe too cold that will make them to fall sick, because this period you need to look after them. And some people will tell you, oh, long vacation, where do we start from? Hey, stop, come. Well, thank God for some of us that our moms is still alive. Grandmas, see, just come and go to grandma's place. You and grandma should just be doing it. And some people will still say, well, I can't leave grandma to just nurture my child or my children for me. I just want to see what they are. I want to bond with them. This one, they are in love vacation. But this Nigeria we are now is not where
really
they say and so you need to go out there and look for what they will.
And make sure they are not too close to the refrigerator. refrigerator because there are cold substances in the refrigerator, so they must always avoid that. Just like you said, cold, food at this time really do not go well with kids. And then I was about to talk about something before you spoke about it. People actually think that it is less costly to actually have children at home than go to school because of what they spend when they go to. But hey, it is almost the same thing because they munch on something every now and then. So it's equivalent to them going to school. Actually,
I can imagine. I can imagine that.
To add to that, I think parents should also be mindful of where they keep their children. In a bid to say, I don't want it to stress me, let me just keep you somewhere. Be mindful of where you keep them. Be sure of if they are going for maybe coaching lessons, for instance, or maybe you just want to step out, you don't want to take them along. Be mindful of where you keep them. And aside from that, I also feel like, this is a point whereby you can actually, get them engaged. I think before now, you must have observed your children for a while. What are their natural talents? What can they do effortlessly, without, stressing them too much? I mean, if you have observed that over the time, you can just dialogue with them, have a conversation with them. I notice you can draw. I notice you love to sing. You love to stay where we have musical instruments. Will you like to venture into things like this? This is the best time to actually engage them in things like that. I mean, enroll them for, if they are up to 13, 14, 15, they could learn graphics designing. And of course, they could learn, how to maybe computer training.
Coding
too. Part of that. Exactly. Coding. And we even have a platform. We have something here, at Dominion Broadcast that you can actually enroll for. I mean, you can learn about voiceover, editing,
how to undo a camera,
exactly, all of those things. So there are a lot of things that you can actually engage your children with this period.
Well, talking about Dominion Broadcast Summer Class, I mean, you can enroll your children, you can enroll your kids here, and they are in safe hands. And if you want to know more about it, this is what you need to do. You need to call this number. That is 0807 649 442. I mean 0807 649 6442. That is the number to call to get more information. But then, if you want to enroll your child, 5,000 naira is just registration free. So just come along and say some of us, and
also bond with your favorite episode.
That's your child that loves to watch the news when others are playing ball. Bring them here.
I was about to say something too before we round off on this segment of the show. Sometimes people tend to brush aside what their children have interest for, and this is the exact time for you to say, look, okay, it's not just about academics. There are some other things you can actually do. We've got so many people who are excelling in different fields aside from what they studied in school. I, for one, studied computer science, and this is what I did I do for a living now. So it is not about what you studied in school sometimes. But sometimes your talent will pave the way for you.
Now, I saw a video online of a 10-year-old boy who can cut clothes and, do things for himself. I'm very sure it didn't start at that age. It started earlier. So by the time he comes of age, he's already a professional. So get them to it. That's why I said observe them first, and after observation, have conversations with them, and also encourage them, because some of them will feel like, Mommy, can I really do this? You can't do it now. So you try to encourage them and then put them in those places so that they can learn better.
Yeah, that's right. And that takes us away from this segment of the show this morning. We say a very big thank you for joining us on the show. And this is Daybreak Live Extra right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. You can be a part of the conversation by linking up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. On X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org.ng, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Drop your comments. We'll surely take them before the show finishes. All right, we'll step aside a little bit. So we'll go on a short break. And when we return, Daybreak Live Extra continues on this dial.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. because it's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV, make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Pat Aito. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Professor Natawel Yetwada, has emerged as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Yetwada's appointment was confirmed during the National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the APC. He will replace Abdullahi Ganduje, who resigned last month, citing health issues. The Senate has adjourned plenary sessions till Tuesday, the 23rd of September 2025. The resolution of the Senate followed its adoption of a motion moved by the leader of the Senate, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele. Senate President Godswill Akpabio, in his remarks after the motion was carried, said senators are expected to use the break period to conduct oversight functions. He said each committee will be expected to submit a report on its oversight activities to the Senate upon resumption. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has given 10 million naira in damages against the Inspector General of Police, IGP, and the Lagos State Commissioner of Police for violation of the fundamental rights of several peaceful protesters. The suit was filed by applicants who participated in the 4th anniversary of the #EndSARS Peaceful Memorial Procession. Delivering the judgment, Justice M. Kakaki held that the applicants were unjustly harassed and the rights infringed upon. The suit was filed against the police by Hassan Taiwo Soweto, Udualie, Kingsley, Elesomi Kende, Osukpale, Adeshaye, Olamileko Sanusi, and Osuba Blessing. Oyo State's Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has taken over the supervision of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in order to elevate the sector to international standards and unlock its vast economic potential. Governor Makinde made the announcement during the 2nd edition of Oyo State International Tourism Summit 2025 held in Ibadan. He emphasized that the program was not merely a celebration of culture, but a platform to showcase the state's rich cultural heritage and highlight the economic potential of tourism. Governor Makinde outlined key executive-level commitments aimed at advancing tourism, including establishing a dedicated tourism investor liaison unit, ensuring transparent communication and introducing a fair and enforceable tourism compact. The African Democratic Congress ADC candidate for the upcoming Ibadan North by-election in 2027, Dr. Dexter Alamu, has emphasized that while money plays a role in politics, governance should prioritize the need and welfare of the people over individual interests. Alamu made these comments during an appearance on the agenda on Dominion Television.
It's very important in politics, but money is not everything in politics, right? I believe very, very strongly beyond the money that the people have learned a few lessons since 2023. That If they give you money, please collect your money. It's part of the national loot that they have taken. But it's very important that we begin to put in positions the people with the competency, the character, the compassion for the people that will help Nigeria move forward. You know, but we are not going for money politics. We're going to play the politics that will give the people the dividends of democracy over the years that we will be in service. That's why leadership, if you understand it, is really about service. It's not about bossing people around. We must start to elect leaders who truly want to serve, not people who want to add something to their name or add something to their CV, but people who truly want to serve. It's not about Dexter Femi Akalamo. It's about who really can deliver the dividends of democracy for the people. And the only reason I'm in the game, because I've not seen anybody who I feel would do a better job than Dexter Akalamo.
He also explained his move from the Labour Party to the ADC, citing Peter Obi's comment about the party. Furthermore, Alamu stated that he would be willing to step down if he found a more suitable candidate. In business, the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority has dismissed the recent criticisms of its greenhouse initiatives, defending its achievement and reaffirming its commitment to advancing Nigeria's agricultural sector under the leadership of its Managing Director and CEO, Adedeji Ashiru. Ashiru disclosed that as part of President Bola Tinubu's agenda to boost food production, the federal government had in the past year constructed 332 greenhouse farming projects across the 6 states of the Southwest geopolitical zone. Ashiru further provided detailed clarifications on the authority's greenhouse project, confirming the completion of the 73 new greenhouses, full rehabilitation of 5 others, and ongoing plans to refurbish an additional 15 units. And in sport, Benga Ogumbote has confirmed his departure from Nigeria Premier Football League and PFL club Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan. Shooting Stars parted ways with Ogumbote and entire technical crew this week. The experienced tactician took to social media to thank the fans for their support throughout his stay at the club. Edith Awoye, a former Shooting Stars head coach, and Olariwaju Yemi are among the top candidates to replace Ogumbote. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And that is the Daybreak News. Thank you so much for watching. I am Pat Aito. Good morning.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is newspaper headlines analysis. And of course, this morning we have quite a number of headlines to talk about. Let me start from the Blueprint newspaper. I have this one that says 2 years after North Central gets justice, Watda emerges APC national chair. And that headline has these riders: party with the great pride of Nigeria on my watch. That's coming from the new chair, Deputy National Publicity Secretary Fonta resigns. And of course, well, I read the report yesterday. I saw that this man is from the North Central, a Christian and a professor of electrical engineering. And of course, I mean, he's made his impact, you know, across the nation over the years. And of course, and then he's coming out to say that, you see, I'm going to unite the party now that I'm party chairman. I have a lot of things to do. And of course, I'll always take advice, I mean, from my predecessors. And of course, we look forward to how that is going to play out for APC. However, some persons are saying this man is really not popular. I mean, why did the party decide to pick him as the chairman of the party? Well, it's left to APC, it's left to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We all know that he's a strategic man, and I'm sure there are reasons why he decided to go for this man. And of course, we look forward to how that will play out and help APC in the next general elections. Moving away from that, let's look at this headline still on Blueprint that says Nigerians are suffering, wet the grass, Tinubu tells governors. And of course, the president is coming out to talk about the issues, or let me see what Nigerians are facing. You know, the inflation is high. I mean, the economy is biting. A lot of things that people are complaining about. And of course, the president is saying, you know what, you know, it is the responsibility of you governors to wet the grass, try and look for ways to better the lives of people, to make things easier for them. Moving away from that, let's also check this headline that I have saying, we are working with Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso on cross-border security. That's coming from CDS. And that headline as this rider says local government must be allowed to work. And of course, I really see this as a welcome development, you know, trying to come together with all other countries to ensure that, you know, things are put in place and security is really tied to safeguard the lives of the people. Let's cross over from Blueprint to Business Day. I have this one that says 2027, El-Rufai Obi may dump ADC over Atiku's ambition. That headline asks this rider. And the rider says obedience mandate Dati to begin peace-building process with Abure-led Labour Party. This headline is really interesting, looking at what we have seen over time. I mean, on social media, what some of the stakeholders of the ADC have said concerning who might likely be the flag bearer of the party. Do you really think Atiku is going to step down for any other person to be the flag bearer? And I'm very sure that Obi can read through, I mean, the minds or maybe some of the things that have been happening over the weeks. So El-Rufai Obi may dump ADC over Atiku's ambition, really. Do you think they're going to dump this party? Is one of the things that we are going to talk about this morning. Because I can tell you this morning that, you know, if this coalition cannot play the game perfectly, APC might stay in power, looking at the fact that, I mean, issues like this might cause a lot of commotion in the party. Who is going to be the party flag bearer? Who is going to be the vice? Okay, from what I know, I think El-Rufai have some intentions. You know, Atiku definitely wants to run. Peter Obi want to run as well. We have the likes of Amici as well that might want to run, and some other persons that we don't really know about. So all of these people, who is really going to take the ticket of the coalition of the ADC come 2027 is a lot to talk about. But I really do not see El-Rufai dumping ADC, really. I mean, I might ask my analyst this morning, I don't see him dumping the party. But for Obi, I mean, 50-50, because Obi has not really said much about whether he's going to stay with the ADC. He's still a member of the Labour Party. And according to him, he said, I am still a member of the Labour Party. I am part of the coalition, but then I have not joined ADC totally. We look forward to how that will play out. Let's look at another headline this morning. I have this one that says, Enugu electricity tariff sparks nationwide call for lower rate. And from what I know and what I've read online, you know, despite the high rate, a lot of persons are still not enjoying electricity. And of course, you know, the government has said a lot of things about that. We do hope that they can, you know, work on those things and ensure that people can enjoy electricity even with a high rate. Let's cross over from Business Day to another paper this morning. Nigerian Tribune is before me. And I have this headline that says, APC chairman, Watda's emergence alters zoning structure. That headline has its riders. 2 NEC officers affected. I need your cooperation to fix the party. SY Minister pleads with stakeholders. Talking about zoning structure, this man is from the North Central and of course is a Christian, unlike Ganduje that just left recently. So do you think this will really alter zoning structure? Because, I mean, if you try to read through what APC is trying to do, they want to balance, I mean, their tentacles. They want to spread their tentacles across the nation so that it's not just above the southern part. They also want to have like a ground in the northern part as well. So I think that is what APC is trying to do. I'm not really sure whether that will alter the zoning structure. And of course, the people of North Central, they were really happy. A lot of them came out to actually support the new APC chairman, going by his emergence as the party chairman. Moving away from that, let's also talk about this headline that says, ADC to Tinubu, diplomacy not a side hustle. That headline has its rider, insists absence of Nigerian ambassadors in key global capital embarrassing. And of course, I also read a story yesterday that talks about, the fact that Tinubu was trying to talk to the coalition and then he called it a coalition of confusion. What do you make of that? Because, I mean, a lot of persons are saying ADC is prepared to unseat Tinubu, but Tinubu does not really seem pressured about the coalition. He sees it as mere confusion and they are not really ready to unseat him come 2027. Is it confidence or is it too much pressure on the president and the entire APC as a party? We'll look at that this morning as well. Let's also check this headline that says PDP holds National Convention November 15, 16 in Ibadan. That headline asks this rider, heads to court to recover seats of defected NAS members. Others says APC rudderless, insensitive PDP elated over turnout at NEC meeting. There was a huge turnout, I mean, at the NEC meeting. And of course, I mean, Damagum even said that some people who had left the party a few weeks and a few months ago, some of them are beginning to return. And of course, I also read a story where one of the major stakeholders in PDP, Lamido, said that, you see, a lot of people that have defected to the APC and even the ADC are due to come back if PDP can actually present credible candidates. I mean, who can do the job. They can always come back to the party. And of course, this convention that we hold in Ibadan, I mean, it took me as a surprise. Why Ibadan? What is going on? Do not forget that the media is trying to, tell us that there is a rift between, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and then the Minister of FCT, that's Nyesom Wike. So why is the convention going to happen in Ibadan? I mean, it's one thing that we want to look at this morning. Let's also look at another headline this morning that says, Osun AG, Nasarawa SSG, 55 orders make new Sanlis. That's a huge development. Let's cross over from Nigerian Tribune to This Day newspaper. I have this headline that says, Tinubu is not easy navigating stormy economic instability, but we are stable now. And that headline asks these riders, tells progressive governors, Nigerians complaining at grassroots, says they should get grass, they should wear the grass more, describes opposition as coalition of confusion. That's serious. A lot to unpack here because, I mean, why would the president say that? Maybe he has been seeing some certain issues going on. Obviously, I mean, a lot of confusion is going on within the ADC. Some persons are still saying, you people cannot come and hijack our party. We are going to take the matter to court. And of course, members of the party are still saying, okay, we allow these people in. You cannot determine whether they will stay or not. It appears we have faction even in the ADC, but then we look forward to how that will play out. All right, that's how far we can go this morning on the newspaper headlines. It's time to take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by my analyst this morning who will help us make sense of some of the top stories. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. And I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me Leko Sobowale, a journalist and public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All right, let's start from the blueprints this morning. I have this headline that says, 2 years after North Central gets justice, Yewata murders APC national chair. Party with the great pride of Nigeria on my watch. That's coming from the new chair, Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Fonta, resigns. Let's talk about this new APC chair. Do you see him doing better than Ganduje that just left? Because a lot of persons have come out to say, is this really the best APC could pull? Going by the fact that it's not really popular as some other politicians, in the North Central, or maybe in the North generally. What do you make of this?
Yes, you see, Yewata is bringing in a lot of additional values.
Okay.
Yewata is not just a politician. Yewata is a professor. He's an engineer. He has been at the time a resident electoral commissioner of INEC. So he's bringing in an experience of electoral processes and procedures. So for the first time in recent times, across the party lines, okay. APC will be having a chairman that is not just a politician, a chairman, a professor, an engineer, someone that will be coming with, it is a value addition to APC as a party. It's not just, in Nigeria we should learn how to do things right, Okay. In developed nations, in developed countries, this is what they do. They don't just, it is not necessarily the person must be, a day-to-day politician like Ganduje. So you understand. So for me, I'm full of expectation, and I believe the new APC chairman will do well in that new position. I know he was talking yesterday and he said, just like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's going to take some decisions, some hard decisions, in order to move the party forward. I think for the first time in recent times, Nigerian political party will be taking a decision not for the benefit of their party members alone, even for the development of political growth in the nation. Because when you're having a professor, I cannot remember if since 1999, since Nigeria returned to democratic governance in 1999, I don't think if any political party in Nigeria has had a professor as the chairman. Party chairman. I don't think so. So, and this is the first time. And this is an engineer, a fellow of Nigeria Society of Engineers. You don't expect him to do things the way a normal politician would do it. At his stage, I don't think he is looking for money. I don't think he will be looking for popularity. I don't think, he will also want to, contribute his own quota, not only to the development of his party, but to the development of political process in Nigeria. Someone like Yewata will not do, because he understands the electoral processes as a former rec. You understand? So yes. Even when the party is not doing it the right way, he will be telling them on a moral principle, on a moral standard, the way things should go. Generally, I believe is coming on board, is an addition to APC. And for a very long time, there has been this clamor by the North Centre that they are the rightful owner, at least for now, to the position of APC chairmanship. And I think because if that agitations, you know, if you don't take care of such an agitations, you know, there may likely be problems in the party. But now, APC has, you know, there's, I think they have regularized everything that they need to regularize. So with the coming on board of the new APC chairman, national chairman, is a good thing for APC and even for Nigeria.
All right, I think you're very right about, I mean, he has a great portfolio. He wants, I think I also read that he used to be a consultant for UNICEF. He has the experience.
Yes.
However, I learned that he lost the election in Plateau State in 2023. He contested as the governor.
Yes.
You know, for someone that could not win a governorship election in a state, I mean, what do you make of that? Is he able to, will he be able to garner enough support, I mean, for the president come 2027?
You see, winning an election, be it governorship election, be it House of Assembly, National Assembly election, you know, it's not just about votes. So many things go into an election. So for the fact that someone does not win an election, this will be his first time of contesting for governorship election in Plateau State. So many things might be involved. You know, if you remember the former governor of Plateau State, during his time, that is Simon Dalong, you know, during his time, there were a lot of crises, you know, there were a lot of banditry in some areas in Plateau State, especially Jos, you know, kidnapping. So, you know, this might have contributed to the reason why the APC lost that election. So for the fact, look at former president, late President Muhammadu Buhari, he contested 3 times. He won the 4th time. So for the fact that he lost an election, you know, in his first trial, that does not mean, you know, in fact, now you can be so sure that come 2027, there is every possibility that APC, you know, APC, North Centre, you know, we are talking about the fact that as we speak now, majority of northern states, they are no longer with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, you can see all the defections, you know, trending, you know, and it is affecting majorly the northern region of the country.
No, don't you think they still have Shettima in the picture?
You know, Shettima is just, you know, Shettima, from where Shettima is coming from, is just, it's like a minority. Should you understand? You know, President Tinubu needs more than, and that is why in recent days you can see President Tinubu, you know, discussing with people like Kwakwanso, you know, trying to load them into APC. President Tinubu needs more than Shettima. Okay, take for example, if Shettima, you know, okay, Shettima wins Borno State for President Tinubu, but President Tinubu needs more than Borno State. You never can tell what will happen in 2027. We still have Peter Obi there. You cannot say.
We have Atiku.
I'm talking about even in APC.
Okay.
Sure, you understand? Okay, if Peter Obi will be contesting on the platform of another party,
okay,
so that means Peter Obi will also be sharing the voting rights, the voting numbers with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have Atiku there, Atiku Abubakar there. So, you know, the most important thing is for President Tinubu is to make sure that if I cannot have the whole 19 states, not the whole 19 northern states, if I can have like maybe 15 southern states, let me just look for maybe 5, 6 northern states. So with this now, he is having Borno State, where his vice president comes from. Now he's having another northern state, Plateau State, where the national chairman is coming from. So it will be so difficult for, you know, for Plateau, where we're having the chairman of the ruling party, you understand, to lose such an election, you know, come 2027. So, you know, for the fact that national chairman of APC is coming from Plateau State, you know, they will put in their best, and they will make sure that we cannot just lose this election for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, you know, it is an added value to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President is currently talking to Kwakwanso. So
do you see him defecting to APC?
Is that?
Do you see Kwakwanso defecting to APC? Because yesterday, I think I read a story. I watched a video where he was talking about the fact that he wants to advise President Bola Ahmed Tinubu because if he's trying to develop the southern part, you know, compared to the northern part.
See, you never can tell in politics.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Don't be surprised that 2023, you can see Abubakar Atiku in APC. You know, politics is all about self. Okay. You know, an average Nigerian politician is greedy, very selfish. It's not as if they love Nigerians as such, but the ambition, look at Atiku Abubakar since 2007, contesting for Nigerian presidency. Are you saying that he loves Nigeria to that extent? You know, it is a life ambition. You know, it's all, politics is all about myself. So, if Kwankwaso thinks that what he is looking for Nigerian presidency, so if he thinks that what I'm looking for I can get in the APC, very well, we come. Don't mind whatever they are saying. Look at Senator Ali Ndume. In the last few months, he has been criticizing President Bola Tinubu, but like 4 or 5 days ago, he commended him.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is politics. So in politics, 24 hours is a very long time. Anything can happen. So tomorrow, you can see Kwankwaso has been interacting with President, visiting Aso Villa and all those stuff. So forget about whatever he's saying.
That's bare politics.
That is just a normal thing. Even Kwankwaso is not a member of APC. He's a stalwart of NNPP. Yeah. Even in APC, we have some stalwart that are still criticizing President Bola Tinubu, despite the fact that they are APC members. So, as a politician, you want relevance, you want prominence, and how can you get relevance? How do you have that relevance? It depends on, you know, you cannot just keep quiet. You know, when you keep quiet, people believe that you are no longer relevant. So you have to keep talking. You know, Kwankwaso is not holding any political position for now. He's not a governor, he's not a president, he's not a senator. So you just have to say something. So don't forget about whatever Kwankwaso is saying. Politics is dynamic. You understand? So anything can happen. You know, if, for example, Tinubu calls Kwankwaso that, okay, after 2031, you are going to be the next president of Nigeria. Within 30 minutes, you will decide that he's coming to APC. If Tinubu can call, President Tinubu can call Atiku Abubakar that Atiku Abubakar, by that I believe in 2021, they are going to be my successor. Atiku Abubakar will just abandon Amechi, Rufai, all of them, and join
the ADC.
If you understand, you know, it is all about, it is not about anything special. It is not about it is about the ambition.
But Atiku once defected to APC and still left and went back to PDP.
AC, ACN, APC, PDP, ADC, that has been the political life cycle of Atiku Abubakar. All Atiku wanted is president to be president. And I can assure you that wherever they can give Atiku that ticket, that wherever he believes that victory is certain, we go there. So it is not. It is, you know, for Nigerian politicians, you know, it is not about Nigeria. It's about the ambition. Look at Rotimi Amechi. He was the former speaker, was the former governor, was the former minister, super minister. Now he's in ADC. You know, still saying that Nigerians are angry, Nigerians are hungry. Now they want to chase President Bola Tinubu away, want to chase the APC away. Why? It's about ambition.
Speaking of these major people in the coalition, who would you see, you know, coming up as the flag bearer of that ADC?
That's a very big, you know, for now, you never can tell.
Okay.
But, you know, but if you look at the indices, you know, if you consider, you know, it's going to the way of Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
You understand? Because, you know, one of the reasons why Atiku Abubakar, you know, moved to ADC is to actualize his ambition. And I can assure you, in a free and fair primary contest, Atiku Abubakar will flatly flood any of those gladiators in ADC, be it Amechi, be it Obi, be it anybody. So, as it stands now, you know, Atiku Abubakar is having upper hand. You know, I cannot say, you know, you cannot be too sure, you know, but if you are to consider the present indices, Atiku Abubakar may be having the day in ADC, contesting for president of Nigeria. So
if it's that obvious to a lot of Nigerians, why do you think Peter Obi still say, I'm still a member of the coalition, regardless of the fact that I'm still a member of Labour Party? Because he's looking as if he might not really get the ticket.
Yes, you know, coalition, if you remember in 2014, you know, we have the ACN, we have the ANPP, we have the CPC, we have the new PDP.
Yeah.
You know, in new PDP, that's where you have Amechi, Saraki, Tambuwa, and I think one other governor, like 4 of them like that. You know, coalition is not necessarily a political party. Coalition is a political movement. You understand? You know, they are coming together for a purpose, you know, from different political parties. Peter Obi is a member of Labour Party. He has not resigned his membership of Labour Party. But, you know, coalition, they are just trying to test water. You know, let us, El-Rufai, you know, few weeks said they are also having an alternative. That is ADA. Because they believe that even with ADC, anything can happen. There are legal issues in ADC. You know, the Kashuku.
You can't come and hijack our party.
You understand the
yes.
Kashuku of this one and all those stuff. So those people that are coaliting, those people that are coming together, they are not even too sure of the ADC that they are in. Yeah, so Peter Obi is still a member of Labour Party. But Peter Obi wants to try his luck. You know, it is very sure, it is very obvious that Peter Obi may not get the president, you know, he may not get Nigeria presidency from Labour Party. You know, it is uncertain. It is not likely that he do that. So Peter Obi is trying to look for, you know, a platform that have a national outlook. Labour Party is not having a national outlook. As we speak now, Labour Party have just one state, Abia State, you know, where we have in the governor of Abia State.
It was able to garner a lot of votes, I mean, during the last election. I mean, some Nigerians said that had it been Atiku and Peter Obi came together in the last election, they would have won. How
will Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi come together? They cannot. You understand? Atiku is having his own ambition. Peter Obi is having his own ambition. Atiku has said it that he's going to contest 2027 election. That if he's not contesting, as a matter of fact, he's going to contest. But that if eventually he lost that election, he's not going to contest again. That will be the end of his political career. Come 2027. So he's not going to contest for an election in Nigeria again. So Atiku is having 2027 as his, you know, a sort of last take.
Final attempt.
You understand? You know, to contest for Nigeria presidency. And Peter Obi also is not going any younger, you know. So you cannot, they have tried it before now, you know, in 2019 or thereabouts. Yeah. Atiku Abubakar was the presidential candidate.
Obi was the VP.
Obi was the vice presidential candidate. So they tried it. It didn't work. And now Obi is enjoying, as a matter of fact, Obi is enjoying more, you know, street credibility. You know, I call it street credibility because street credibility don't win election in Nigeria.
But he was able to gather, I think, 6.2 million votes in the last election.
It came third.
Yes.
So you have first, you have second, so third. So how can you become president? So even if they conduct another election today, I'm telling you, that will likely be the pattern. Because Obi is, as we speak, Obi is not on ground in the northern states. You know, I mean, aside from Plateau in 2020 elections, Obi is not having any northern state to his side, and it's only few, maybe 2 or 3 southeast states. And
can you
win
that's
election?
His first attempt. His second attempt might be much better.
Well, maybe it might be more better and can be worse. Because look at all the senators, all the House of Reps members that won 2020 election on the platform of Labour Party. Where are they now? They are in APC. So how do you want to win election with that? Some of your foot soldiers that they won election under your popularity, or because most of them won. There is this a motorcyclist in one of these south east states. He won House of Reps election under the platform of Labour Party because of Peter Obi's popularity. He's not in APC. So most of the Peter Obi's foot soldiers, that one will expect that, okay, come 2027, these are the people that will eventually work for Peter Obi. They are now in APC. APC now have 70 members in the Senate. I know 70 members. Maybe PDP is having maybe 28 or 29 out of the 30 members. Even the most popular senator in Labour Party is not even in ADC.
I'm also aware that APC now has about 23 governors. But then,
it's not about the strengthening
then
governors.
can
Yes.
that amount to a win? Because we've seen it before in Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, when in 2015, I mean, when former President Goodluck Jonathan contested again, I think about 21 governors supported him, but did he win the election?
21 governors supported him. But don't forget that we have the new governors, the new PDP governors joining the APC. You know, just like what we have in now. So you understand? You know, well, some people may be saying that APC having 20 governors does not really matter, but it matters. Not even with someone like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's a politician. You understand the game. You understand the processes. Someone that was outside the government in 2020, look at all the hindrances, look at all the obstacles, look at all the machinations against him. He won the election. So, not to talk of, he's now in the saddle. He's sitting on the chair. So, how do you, with 20 governors? No, if you don't compare Goodluck Jonathan with Tinubu, they are two different, politicians. Is Jonathan? Can you even say Jonathan is a politician? Jonathan is, there is what some people will call apology to him anyway. People will say accidental politician.
But I still see him as a politician. I mean, he used to be a former president of the country.
Being a former deputy governor, a former governor, a former vice president, a former president, is a politician now because he didn't emerge through a coup. He emerged through a democratic
and he can
process.
still contest in the future.
Yes, he can contest, but it depends. It depends on. But if you look at all the criteria, if you look at all the indices and all the stuff, there is no way Jonathan can come into this contest because, as we speak now, after 2027, the southern part of the country have just 4 years. So are you saying that Tinubu should resign and go? Are you saying that Tinubu should not contest again? But Tinubu is saying that he's still going.
So do you agree with people who have said
so
that?
Which party? Well, okay, let me ask you. Goodluck Jonathan, is he a member of PDP or APC? When last did you see Goodluck Jonathan attending PDP? Yesterday ended their 101 NEC executive. So was Jonathan there?
He might not be present there, but we cannot talk about
but Jonathan has not been attending PDP.
Anything can change at any time. Just like you said, this is politics.
Yes, I know anything can change. But if you want this thing in 2027, we should be seeing you now. Look at Atiku Abubakar now. Are you saying, Jonathan, you just come and just... politics is politics, politics have its way of, it's systematic.
Okay, let's talk about this before we move away from this matter. Do you agree with people who have said that it is impossible to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is a southern candidate, with another southern candidate? Kenneth Okonkwo, I'm sure you know him very well.
Sure, that's the actor.
Yes, I think he said on national TV that if Atiku is the best person, because you cannot unseat an incumbent who is a southern person with another southern candidate. What do you make of that?
Kenneth Okonkwo, just like I've said, a few minutes ago, that in Nigeria now we have a lot of accidental politicians. Kenneth Okonkwo used to be an actor, used to be a comedian, later a lawyer, but now a politician. People don't, politics have its own different language. You understand? And Kenneth Okonkwo, okay, now tell me, a southern candidate cannot unseat a southern candidate. So what he's trying to say is that Peter Obi cannot unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So what Kenneth Okonkwo is trying to say is that Atiku Abubakar will unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So what he's just trying to tell you by implication is that Atiku Abubakar, he will be supporting Atiku Abubakar against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Right. That is his own calculation. But, well, it will be very, very difficult. Not even when we are, who is that southern candidate? Peter Obi. On a good day, on Anambra State will be having the gubernatorial election in the next few months, 2026. Let Peter Obi present a candidate in Anambra State.
It was in Anambra, I think, a few weeks ago.
He can be sleeping and waking up in Anambra from Monday to Sunday. I can assure you that 70% Soludo will still win Anambra election come 2026. Well, that means Peter Obi, even in his own state, it's not even on ground. Look at You know, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Anambra a few months ago, maybe a month or 2 months ago. Look at what Governor Soludo was saying about Peter Obi. You know, politics goes beyond, you know, social media, go beyond TikTok, go beyond obedient and not obedient movement and all those stuff. You know, it goes beyond that. You understand? You know, I love Peter Obi as a person. You know, I love his stunts and all those stuff. But you know, there is a need for him to, you know, it goes beyond having Aisha Yesufu. Is Aisha Yesufu a politician?
I mean, she's an activist, but then she has been able to involve herself in Nigerian politics over the years.
See, let me tell you, when you look at the history of activists, I know a lot of activists. Aside from
we have Shobore as well.
Aside from someone like Upa Soni, the present governor of Kano State.
Okay.
How many times have you seen an activist becoming something? Okay, Shobore has been contesting in the last 12 years.
I mean, I think one of the disadvantage, I mean, to maybe the fact that he has been contesting for a long time is because of the party, the outlook of the party. Just like you have said, that Labour Party does not have a national outlook.
Why is it difficult for them, they are activists, why is it difficult for them to move to a political party with a national outlook?
I think it depends on his interest as well. Because
I mean,
politics is a game of interest.
It's a game of interest. They will continue to contest and contest and contest it till the end of the world.
Right, before we go, actually, let's talk about this, another headline that I read this morning, and then it says the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I watched the video actually, and it said the coalition of confusion, referring to the ADC and the major people. And look at the fact that we have El-Rufai, who is a major strategist. A lot of Nigerians might not like him, but a lot of people have also come out to say this man is very intelligent. And then I read one time he said that I want to come and right the wrong that I did in 2023, and that is to unseat Tinubu. Exactly, El-Rufai. We have the likes of Atiku and Mechi. So do you think this is coming from the president as maybe too much pressure that is maybe receiving from the ADC, or maybe it's coming out of confidence on the fact that, you know what, I'm still going to win 2027 and there's nothing you can do about it?
Well, you see, one good thing about ADC is that, you know, for the first time in the last 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, Nigeria will be having a very strong opposition party.
Okay.
You understand? You know, PDP is currently sleeping. I just pray they will wake up in peace.
But they had a NEC meeting and they had huge turnout.
They always have huge turnout. They still have like maybe 7 or 8 governors, but they are sleeping as an opposition party. Sure, you understand? Okay. Not as a political. Yes, they are political parties with governors, with senators, but currently they are sleeping. So the only opposition party that we have now, as we speak now, is ADC. You understand? So, you know, there is no amount of, you cannot wish away the power of an opposition party. Not even an opposition candidate like people like Shobore, like Peter Obi. Yeah. You know, they will still have their say, even though they will not have their way. Okay. You understand? So, you know, the more they talk, you know, the more they, you know, there is no way President Tinubu and APC, you know, will not be feeling, you know, there are some utterances and comments that will be coming out that whether you like it or not, you have to respond. You understand? Because sometimes when you are not responding, you know, people sometimes may just believe that they are saying the right thing. So, and you know, President Tinubu is a politician, so, you know, he understands the game. You know, he was the one that led the 2014, you know, coalition against Goodluck Jonathan. So, he knows all of these people. You know, President Tinubu was the one that gave Atiku Abubakar a platform in 2007, AC. So you understand? Yeah. You know, in 2014, Rotimi Amaechi, a few weeks ago, you saw it trending online that was saying that in 2013 or 2014, he knelt down and was begging President Tinubu not to jettison the idea of coalition against Goodluck Jonathan, that if Goodluck Jonathan should come back in 2019, 2015, will have been a dead man by now. So you understand? So all of them, they were together before now. They know Tinubu knows them. So, you know, sometimes, you know, what do you expect President Tinubu to say? You're just looking at them that, I know what these people, I know what they can do. So, you know, they don't really understand themselves. And talking about saying they are confused, you know, it looks, you know, you can have that kind of feelings, you know. Atiku is contesting, he's telling Obi to come and be his running mate.
Which I don't see happening.
Obi is saying that no, that he also wants to contest. No, that Rotimi Amici too is interested in becoming the president through ADC. You know, Rotimi Amici was in Port Harcourt 3 days or 4 days ago. You know, you can see his billboards, posters, and all those stuff. So he also want to be president. And El-Rufai, you know, is also scheming, you know, and all those stuff, scheming to be vice president. So in APC, everybody knows that, yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming back. In PDP, we are yet to know any of their candidates.
I mean, we've been hearing about, you know, the current governor of your state, Seyi Makinde, that he might likely contest.
Yes, Seyi Makinde has denied it several times.
Okay.
Yes, you know, former governor of the state confirmed it to us that he also saw it and he sent it to Governor Seyi Makinde, and Governor Seyi Makinde said there is nothing like that. Former governor of Oyo State, the Olubadan designate now, Oba Ladoja, you know, visited Seyi Makinde during the Eid al-Fitr celebration. He also spoke about it. Seyi Makinde denied it, that there is nothing like that. So you understand? I believe that Seyi Makinde, as we speak, Seyi Makinde is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No, don't mind whatever our governor is saying. Is with President Tinubu. So you understand? So, and I'm very sure that Seyi Makinde will not just wake up and telling us that he wants to contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So don't mind all they are saying. You know, Seyi Makinde, of course, is a force in PDP. You know, he's a leader in PDP.
One of the most popular governors.
Yes.
In the country.
So, but for him to come out and contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, I don't see that coming. And he has denied it several times.
Do you see him defecting to APC?
Of course, very well. Is he not a politician? He can defect if he feels. Though he has been saying that he will be the last man standing in PDP, but I don't trust politicians. If a politician comes to your house and say good morning, you can go out and check. It may be evening or night. So Seyi Makinde can go to ADC, can go to APC, can even go to Labour Party. You know, as a politician, you go to wherever your interests will be protected. You know, I like said a few minutes ago, I said politics is about ambition.
Okay.
Politics is about self-interest.
Okay.
You know, and I feel Nigerian politicians are greedy. You know, it's not as if they like us. You know, it's because of their ambition. It's because they want to be president. It's because they want to be governor. So,
nice.
you know, you don't trust them.
Okay, it's been an interesting conversation with Lekon Sobowale, a journalist and public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you very
this
much.
morning.
Thank you very
And
much.
of course, this is where we say our BYE. Thank you for being a part of this segment. Do well to join us same time next week, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Throughout the show. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakwan. I'm saying good morning.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
right, good morning and welcome to another inspiring edition of The Big Story, right here on Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television, where voices that heal, inspire and uplift take center stage. I am Samson Balogun. Today we bring you a powerful blend of melody and mental health as we explore the healing power of music and the importance of emotional restoration. My guest this morning, of course I'll be having two guests, is a dynamic music minister who will join us later, and of course whose voice carries the fragrance of worship, Adesola Akande, known as, for the stage name, Adesola Focus, the lead of Adesola Akande and the Focus Band. Our journey through music and ministry is one that echoes with purpose, passion and power. Also joining me this morning, already in the studio, is a woman of a mission to mend the broken pieces of many hearts. Neme Adetiran, a passionate mental health advocate and a trauma healing coach whose work in emotional recovery and mental wellness is impacting lives one heart at a time. Together, we'll uncover how faith, music, mental health intersect to foster true healing in our personal and collective journeys. Good morning once again. Samson Balogun is my name. I have with me in the studio this morning, Neme Adetiran. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
As I said earlier, Neme Adetiran is a mental health advocate, trauma healing coach, and she's been doing some good work as regards that. How did you come about mental health as a profession?
Thank you for asking. So I grew up in a dysfunctional home. I was born into a broken home, so I battled with depression and attempted suicide at a very young age. I was still in secondary school when I attempted suicide, you know, and then eventually, by the grace of God, I was able to go to school, further my education, and then I studied education, computer science in education, and while in school, I also had to offer courses in psychology. After graduating, I had the opportunities to work in schools, secondary schools, so I had to interact with children and other secondary school students, and that was where the journey began, because from there I started to also equip these people, mentor them, and just prepare them to combat identity crisis, you know, develop a healthy self-esteem and boost confidence. And I knew that I was pulled towards children who were like me, you know, who were battling with depression, low self-esteem, and all of that. And the journey started, and then I had to also continue to develop myself. And I encountered women, rehabilitated girls, and I just found out that I was passionate about helping these people. And somewhere along the line, I realized that it was not just a passion, it's a calling.
Absolutely right. Okay, now let's talk about, let's scratch beyond the surface a little bit. Aside from the buzzword that we hear, trauma, healing, and the likes, what does it really involve? I mean, let's go deeper a little bit.
You know, life is powerful, and the way I see individuals is God in himself designed us in such a way that we carry weight. That's the way I usually say that. And in life, you don't just journey through life with ease. There are always obstacles along the way. I see obstacles as building blocks. But with the wrong orientation, as it were, without the right orientation, we might see obstacles differently. So sometimes trauma is just the wrong perception about challenges. I'm not trivializing brokenness, abuse, violence. No, I'm not trivializing all of those stuff. But I'm just saying that most times what we call trauma is perception, perspective about life, you know. And when a person says they are traumatized, it's just the inability to cope or the difficulty with coping with certain difficult situations, you know. And then maybe it affects the way of life, their day-to-day activities, and all of that. So, well, trauma is not just a buzzword. It's actually a true life experience. People are going through a lot, grieving. A lot of people are grieving. People are struggling with identity crisis, lack of confidence, and the pressure is much, especially in this social media age, right? So the pressure is much, and, you know, especially in these times where we have access to information, and then you come online and then you hear a gory experience that you ordinarily wouldn't have had access to. And sometimes you're not even aware that you're traumatized because somewhere in your soul, you're hurt. and then it instills fear. And then gradually you realize that you're becoming socially withdrawn, or you're becoming easily frightened by sound, you know, and then you're becoming scared to dare to do certain things because somewhere in your subconscious, that memory, that image that you saw just got stuck there. And so that's trauma.
All right, while talking about trauma, how can unhealed trauma actually affect productivity, self-esteem, and in one way or the other, relationships?
Awesome. So unhealed trauma is like a mental roadblock. Unhealed trauma is like a mental roadblock. You know, I'll come from a biblical perspective, permits me. So there's a part of the Bible that says, no man pours new wine into an old wineskin, else it will burst, it will break. Now, no matter how much you develop yourself, you're learning, you're acquiring new skills, you get a new job, a promotion and whatever, when you don't deal with past hurts, when you don't deal with past trauma, there's a possibility that you will see life through the lens of what had happened to you in the past. So for example, you got promoted and the first thing is, how do I do this? How do I cope? How do I manage this new challenge before me? But then somewhere in the past, you've maybe had an experience with a boss that was not so good. And now you are in front of another boss. And so you just realize that every time this new boss is trying to correct an act or trying to challenge you to become better, you're not hearing him. You're hearing what happened to you in the past. So you're interpreting that event through the lens of the past. And you find out that you're reacting. That's where you cannot be productive. Also, it could even be in relationships. You're in a new relationship, or maybe you even had a past heartbreak. And so you're afraid to go into another relationship. You've heard the popular saying, all men has come and all of that. It's trauma. Maybe someone had hurt you in the past. Sometimes it's not even your personal experience. You had someone else's experience and you became traumatized. We call that borrowed trauma.
Borrowed trauma.
Yeah. So you're traumatized by someone else's experience. So you're finding it difficult to maintain healthy relationships because you are afraid. You know, you also find it difficult to set healthy boundaries because you don't want to get hurt again. You cannot trust again. And healing requires that you trust again. You know, so it can affect you because if you don't deal with that, you will interpret the events of your life through the lens of the past, and you won't be able to see opportunities, you won't be able to see possibilities.
All right, let's talk about the summer school. You have been able to blend this with education, and then your summer school is coming up. How did you come about this idea, and what does this summer school entail? You call it Dare to Believe Kids Summer.
Yes. So the summer school started with a vision I conceived about 3 years ago. It started out as a clothing brand, trying to equip children with identity through clothes. So we brand their clothes and we put inscriptions that inspire and empower them, just kind of trying to shift the culture and change the narrative, help children become more confident. And along the line last year, we went to the streets to also help children, you know, and we encountered some children in the streets, we empowered them, gave them things, items, and also trainings, and we did all of that. So this year, we decided to bring these children together. It's a virtual summer boot camp, you know, and we've made it fun. We've made it fun, self-paced, you know, where parents can have access to fun activities for children, to engage them. I mean, this summer holiday, you don't have to scream, stop doing that, sit down and all of that. And you can also manage screen time. But then they're maximizing their screen. They have fun activities, games that exposes their potential to them. Because you want to also discover their interests. You want to discover their interests and use their interests to develop them, to build them. You know, the more they engage in activities that makes them happy, that is fun for them, especially play. The more they play, the more confident they become, the more self-aware they become. So that's what Dare to Believe Kids Summer is about. Just help them to battle identity crisis, peer pressure through games, activities, and very brief sessions that you could just give them, and then they are taking these activities, crafts, arts and crafts, and all of those comic programs.
Okay, you mentioned that the activities to be expected strengthen identity and self-love, build resilience against peer pressure, book writing and communication skills, and then DTB summer party. All that will be done virtually.
Yes, virtually. The DTB summer party is going to be hybrid. So we have virtual and then it's going to be physical.
Oh, some of them will actually come,
yes,
and then some will have to join virtually.
Yes,
if
and
they
it's
cannot
open
be
to
available.
children everywhere, not just the people that attended the virtual summer.
Okay, so when is this starting actually?
On
And
the
what are
4th.
the age grades you are looking at?
It's starting on the 4th to 15th of August, and we're looking at 5 to 12 years. We want to catch them young.
You want to catch them young?
Yes.
Okay, so for those who would want to appear in person, so is there a location where they can actually reach you?
Okay, so the location for now is private because we want to communicate that to the people that register. So after the registration, but the summer boot camp itself is happening virtually.
Okay,
Yes.
so if for registration, how do they get across to you?
Okay, so you can go to Instagram, DTB_kids, and then click on the bio, you get the link there, or you go to sila.com/DTB Summer 2025.
And then if they want to reach you personally, as regards this?
You can call my number,
Okay.
07062524768.
All right, Anemi Adetiran, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We
It's
do
my
hope that
pleasure.
next time we'll call you, we'll be here to talk about mental health per se.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, the show is still Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, Daybreak Live Extra continues.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. Don't forget to keep the conversation going by linking up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Dominion Broadcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch us live, drop your comments, and of course, we're going to take them on at Dominion Broadcast. On X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org.ng. So, thank you for staying tuned. My next guest is a dynamic music minister whose voice carries the fragrance of worship. Adesola Akonde, known on stage as Desola Focus, the lead of Adesola Akonde and the Focus Band. A journey through music and ministry is one that echoes with purpose, passion, and power. Thank you for joining me in the studio this morning.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new single.
Thank you,
You just
sir.
dropped a new one.
Yes, I just did.
How did you come about music, personally?
Well, I didn't find it. Music found me.
Oh.
So yeah, I was born to be a music minister. I just found myself in it. So I didn't choose it. It chose me rather.
So when did you start professionally? I understand that so many music ministers started from, you know, childhood in church choirs and the
Yes.
like. So professionally, when did you start?
That was in 2007 when I got to the university.
Okay.
Yeah, 2007.
So you've been doing music for some time now, and how many projects do you have out there?
I have 5. I have 5 projects. Yeah, 5 albums with different singles, but the main albums are 5.
Main albums are 5.
Yes, sir.
So how have you found the music landscape, especially as a gospel minister out there? How have you found the landscape in Nigeria?
Well, music ministry in Nigeria is a very delicate one. You have to be careful, just as my name, focus. You have to stay focused because there are many distractions out there, especially in Nigeria, for you not to compromise your stance. But then God has been faithful. When you have a call over your life, you know what is binding on you. You know the things you can do and the things you cannot do. So you just keep reminding yourself of the word you're standing on. Those are the prophecies and the promises. So yeah, those are the things keeping me focused.
Okay, so what is the inspiration behind Ijoya?
Ijoya is particularly for Christian parties. We discovered that many people don't want to call gospel ministers to party because they believe it's just church vibes alone. But beyond the church vibes, we can still be social without being vulgar. So that is the main reason for Ijoya. You can play it anywhere, at home, in church, anywhere, at parties. It is recommended for any event. So yeah, that's the reason for Ijoya.
So some people say most gospel ministers in Nigeria right now, they have compromised. Most of them are now doing juju instead of the gospel they are known for. Probably some of them will trick Nigerians into believing, oh, I am a gospel artist, and along the way, they just drift to the juju kind of music. How is that, how has that been for you? Has there been a time that you thought, oh, I should probably do something funkier than what I currently do?
Well, we cannot say they are deceptive. As personally, I used to tell my people, I'm a double-edged sword.
Okay.
I can entertain and I can minister. It's a grace. There are people that are limited. They can only do well at parties and some in church. But there are people who have many talents. You know, and you cannot hide it because of what people will say. My own is just make sure you are not misleading people. Even at parties, when I sing juju, I do sing juju. But when I sing, you will still see people come to me after, you are a Christian. I mean, I don't need to introduce myself. Even from the way I deliver the so-called juju. It's not vulgar. You won't find words that are against my faith. Okay. And that is what it means to still be doing what you are talented at doing and yet not compromising the faith. So, I mean, it's not easy for music ministers out there because many people are living by what people would say, not living to the fullest of what God has given them in talent. So, just do your thing, but make sure you don't compromise your faith in the process.
So how has the name Focus shaped your delivery, shaped your kind of music, and shaped your band strategy?
Yeah, from the name Focus, we are focused in everything we do. Even sometimes when you want to, allow me to say, when you want to be moved by money. I remember that name and the scripture God gave me behind it. And I'm like, okay, take it easy. Because humanly speaking, sometimes you are motivated by money. Even churches, when they call you, you are like, okay. But by the time you want to think of what you will gain from it, then I sit back and remind myself why I'm into this ministry. It is actually a ministry. I'm not in the industry. Okay. I'm not. So the name Focus has been helping to actually focus on what matters. And that is releasing a sound out there for many things, for enjoyment, for ministry, for healing, for deliverance, for anything. Anything. I mean, at our parties, people give their lives to Christ. Isn't it funny? Because we start with worship. Our own sound check. We worship, we sing gospel songs, we minister. And you would see people who actually want to dance, worshiping. And they will come to you after the event like, oh, thank you, you blessed me. They were supposed to be enjoying themselves,
to be vibing,
but then you will hear things like, you blessed me, thank you. So I mean, the name, I'm sure God was intentional about me when he gave the name, because he would have seen things ahead that would probably want to shake the faith. But you know, it doesn't mean it has been easy like that. Yeah, but God has been helpful. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned being in the industry and being, you know, in the ministry. What difference does it make? As long as you do music, you are in the music industry, isn't that right?
Well, yes, but I personally, I remind myself I'm in the ministry. Yes, I could be in the industry. I told you I play at events, I sing at parties, but the consciousness of being in the ministry would not help me misbehave in the industry. So I don't call myself a celebrity. I used to tell my husband, I'm not a celebrity, I'm just a servant of God. Even at parties, I'm a servant of God. I have a mission at your events.
So what are the challenges you have faced in the ministry, in the music ministry, let me put it that way?
Many challenges, particularly financing the team. When, you know, it is ministry, you cannot bill, you cannot charge, and we have to go for events, go for church programs, carrying the entire crew, the financing. When they see you and they're like, after the ministry, God bless you, you minister to me, and it's an handshake. And then you go back to settling. You are the one with the call. Your crew members, thank God some understand the assignments you are doing together, but there are some. Many people studied music in my team. And you have to, they have to make money from it.
That's what they do for a living.
That is what they do for a living. So it would be unfair for me to say, this is my calling. Hello, it is mine, not theirs. Yeah, they are supporting me. So sometimes you just have to find a way to figure out to be a blessing to them financially. So to me, that is a challenge among many others.
So many people have talked about music ministers saying, oh, this is what I want for coming to your church, and then some are for, some are against. I was saying, I saw a clip of a minister recently who said, look, as long as this is what they do for a living, especially instrumentalists, you have to pay them. Are you one of those of the school of thought that regardless of what it is, this is what I do, but of course, this is my ministry. So if I don't get any gratification, I'm still okay?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, financing is a major part of the ministry. And when it is not coming from things the ministry itself, I believe there is a way God compensates us, particularly me. You know, God has blessed me with a husband that no matter what I'm doing, he's the #1 fan. He's giving me the money. He's putting all his money, all his investments into it. So, well, people have different reasons for doing many things. So for them, for people charging and saying this and that, I cannot blame them. Not many people have the opportunity of others financing their ministry. But one thing I believe is that I don't plan to make room for myself. The Bible says the gift of a man will make room. So I'm waiting on God to make that room for me. You invite us to an event. One thing I'll be sure of is, okay, how do you want us to come? Is it the entire team or some of us that I know I can cater for? If at the end of the day nothing comes out of it, it's a blessing when they pay honorarium. I mean, the cost, the logistics and everything is important. So we can't fly to your concerts and be a blessing. We have to go through a means and all. So I mean, I don't blame anybody. My own is that God will make room when he would make the room. But the thing is, the focus should not be on the money. Eyes on the prize, and Jesus is the prize. You reaching out on your assignments.
So with this new single, do you plan to shoot a music video, or do you have music videos of your songs that you have actually done before now?
This is actually our first official video. Okay. We've done some video snippets and all, but this is the very first official video. Yeah, it's in view. It will be coming out on 1st of August. We are working on it. So yeah.
So is the audio out already?
The audio is out. It's out on Audiomack at Desola Focus. It's out. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's everywhere on our social media platform. So
this new single, what messages do you think or do you hope that listeners will be able to take away from this? Well,
this single, we actually have 3. The first one is the praise party. Okay. The entire thing is worship experience. There's a downbeat, the worship. There's a prophetic one, and then this is the praise. This one is majorly focusing on praising God. We discovered that many people have mistaken fast songs for praise songs. That is, fast does not mean it is praising God. The content is what is telling us what you are doing with the music. So that is the essence of this praise party. You will dance, and yet you won't be out of line. You will understand what you are doing, just as David did. You are praising God. You are not featuring in the matter. You are not putting yourself, you are not putting your needs ahead. You are not doing any other thing. It's strictly about God. So if you check every of the music, I mean, it's a medley. None is my composed song. It's a medley. We just modified some. We did some things beautiful with them. So it focuses on God. This particular volume 1, there's volume 2, volume 3 coming out very soon, but this volume 1 focuses on the total praise of the Master. Don't mistake it for any other thing.
Okay, now still talking about your songs, do you have a place where they can reach you for bookings, for ministration bookings actually?
Yes, we do. I'm on Instagram, you're on Facebook, TikTok, everywhere possible at Desola Focus. Just send in a message. We are there.
Let's talk about collaborations.
Okay.
Have you ever had any collaboration with anyone, or do you have the intention of having, you know, something to do with other music artists?
Well, I've not had any, and if I would have, then I'll be led to. I won't say no, I won't say yes, depending on what God wants me to do. But one thing I'm sure I won't do is to collaborate because I want to be visible. No, I'll wait on the call. If there is something I want to bring into the ministry, there's a higher grace or anointing on a colleague that I admire so much, and I want you to be a blessing to people that I have access to, then definitely there would be a collaboration if that is what God is saying at that moment. Yeah.
Has there been days you felt like, won't I stop this music thing? Oh.
Well, I've been discouraged. I've been disappointed, but I've never thought of giving up. It's not even in my agenda. I don't know how to give up. So, but then challenges come that would want to shake the faith. But I mean, no other foundation can a man lay except that which is laid, and that is Christ Jesus. So the ministry is standing on Christ himself. So challenges will come. He didn't promise us a smooth journey, but there's a smooth landing. So that alone is promising, and it keeps me going.
So for songs that are yours, you composed by yourself, what brings you inspiration? How do you get inspired to write songs of your own?
Most of the times when I get inspirations, they are when I'm probably fasting or when I'm sleeping. Just as that scripture, I'll give you a song in the night. So when I want to sleep, my heart is opened. The Lord, I'm ready. I mean, there's one that I just dropped like 2 days ago. I was sleeping and I was ministering that song in the church, and in that dream I thought I was actually recording. I just felt a power that woke me up. Get up now, go and record. I woke up, ran to my phone, recorded it on voice notes and all. So most of the times I get it while sleeping or when I'm in intimacy with the Father. But for me to sit down and start saying I want to write something meaningful, no. It has never worked for me. Okay,
music industry has evolved over time. We have seen people coming out with different ideas. For example, Lawrence Oyor, Guys Baba did something like I Can Never Turn Back. You know, it's something that's actually inspired youth to do more of music. There are insinuations that even the song is being played anywhere and everywhere. Yes. So it's an innovation. It's the fact that the industry has evolved. Do you see yourself doing something like that in the future? Or maybe where do you see the industry? With what we are saying now, where do you see the industry in the next 5 years?
Well, gospel ministry is taking over. That's what I told somebody. Because if at clubs they want to listen to I Can Never Turn Back, I mean, Jesus is taking over everywhere and we are not shy about it. We will go everywhere and anywhere to talk about Jesus, even at clubs. If I'm invited to a club to come and sing, my brother, I will go there, I will sing my gospel. Because number one, you know what I do before you invite me there. And I'm not shy. I mean, who do we preach to? People who are already saved? People who are in the church? No, that's not what we are called to do. So if I'm to go to a club to sing, I would go. I will let you know about Jesus. And we are not shy about it. So I'm saying that gospel ministry is taking over. In the next 5 years, it will be better than this. Gospel music everywhere in the name of Jesus. That is what we see. That is what we envisage. So yes.
So what's your 2 cents for upcoming music artists, gospel ministers?
I'm not coming to. So the thing is, just keep your faith alive and keep your focus. There will be many distractions, there will be many misconceptions out there of who you are. But what God says about you is what matters. So when you are going and it looks tough and rough, just keep going, eyes on the prize, eyes on the goal, and that is Jesus himself. He will see us through. Amen.
Thank you, Desola Focus, for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you.
It has
so
been a
much.
wonderful session with you. In case they want to reach out to you for bookings for this new single, probably want to have a conversation with you, how do they get across?
Desola Focus on Instagram. Our number is on it.
Okay.
Desola Focus on Facebook. Desola Focus on TikTok. I mean, you'll find our numbers.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right. That wraps up today's edition. This is where we draw the curtain on this soul-stirring edition of The Big Story. From the rhythm of worship to the rhythm of healing, we have seen how both sound and silence can be tools for restoration. A big thank you to our guest, Desola Focus, for reminding us of the power in praise, and Nimi Adetiran for helping us find light even in dark emotional tunnels. Keep the conversation alive, check in on your mental well-being, and never forget, your healing is valid and your story matters. Until next time, this is The Big Story on Daybreak Live Extra. Stay uplifted, stay Dominion empowered. Samson Balogun is my name.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling on future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling on future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live Extra right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Don't forget, keep the conversation going. Link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. On our YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel, drop your comments, and we'll surely take them at Dominion Broadcast. Watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Now it's time for Trend Watch, and I still have with me in the studio Oluwayemi Adelako and Pat Aito. Together, we'll be making sense of stories on the world of social media.
We are glad to be here. Back again.
Good to have you here.
We're glad to be back here.
Good to be
To
here.
the palace. All right, Trend Watch today. I mean, it's a good one, a good development, and that's talking about, according to ENLI Passport Index, which is updated quarterly, uses data from the International Air Transport Association, that is IATA, saying that Nigeria is now 88th position. I mean, we now share position. Our Nigerian passport is now in 88th position out of in 2021. I think we're on 103 position, and in 2003 and 2023 we have 97th, and in come last year it was 91st, and this year 2025 it's 88th position, and we now share that position with Ethiopia and Myanmar. So I said it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's the highest you have been in the last 5 years. So interestingly, I think the Nigerian passport is gaining strength. There used to be a time when the Nigerian passport would visit so many countries visa-free, but right now, things are changing.
And I think we still have the visa-free and the visa on arrival to some countries. We still have that care, and of course, this man in particular, I mean, I can't really pinpoint his name. Is actually doing exceptional compared to the last administration. I mean, someone that is actually
used to be Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, former governor of Osun.
Just as you said that when he was there, we didn't really see.
Yeah, interestingly, Olubumitunde Ojo is doing so much as regards placing the Nigerian passport where it belongs. And of course, don't forget that there used to be a time where there will be long queues at the immigration office just to get a
And
Nigerian
apart from that, when you register, it might take you like 3 to 4 months before you're able to receive it. Now, I have friends that are saying under 3 weeks you can get your passport.
Absolutely right.
So, I mean, it's something interesting. We should look forward to going higher than
In
this
fact, it has been digitized somehow that
register online and go for
everything.
everything.
Everything is just online.
That is even for people who are actually, getting a passport for the first time. But if it's just for renewal, I don't think it is that serious. And then there's a way now that your passport can be delivered to you. So you don't really have to go to the immigration office, especially for you who you are renewing your passport and you are busy. You can always you pay online, then get it sorted. You don't really need anybody to. There used to be a time where the so-called Onibarandas, there are intermediaries between you and the immigration office. They are telling you, the passport is just 26,000. They say, you have to pay 55,000. I mean, that's a lot of money.
And even till now, I still feel like if you're not careful, you can still fall into the hands of Onibaranda.
That's if you want to.
Exactly.
The reason we're having this is because we want to sensitize the people the more. If there are some things you don't know, make inquiries, ask people questions.
Search online.
I mean the right thing.
Well, we have a comment here, Symphoning_mine, saying, "Make we no liar, since this gentleman assumed office, he has done marvelously well. As it stands, his ministry is the only working ministry in Nigeria. His appointment was hit, not a miss."
To me, if you ask me, I think this is the first time that a lot of persons know who the Minister of Interior is. The last administration, I don't think a lot of persons know. We don't even
There was a tag during the last administration that was Minister of Public Holidays. The only time you hear about the Ministry of Interior is there's a public holiday. But now we're having strategic issues being discussed, and the people now are more aware of situations around them. They know what the Ministry of Interior is all about. I think this is the right time for us to say, let's give him these flowers. He's doing a very good job. But then we know that he can always do better.
Well, we applaud you. I mean, personally, I applaud you.
Let's talk about this comment that I saw on I think on X. Someone said the country that is on the first position, she country, and we have 2 heads. That was how the person made a comment. I think we have Singapore in the first place, but really I think it's progressive. We will not just jump from 80th position to the first position. I mean, so let's give him flowers.
Actually, we also have to look in the direction of, it's not just about the Ministry of Interior. It's about the federal government placing Nigeria in a certain light that actually brings some countries to say, we want to do business with you. One of the things that will happen is if you have bilateral agreements with some countries, know that citizens of your country will come to theirs and theirs will come to yours for business transactions. So automatically, visa rules in those two countries having deals will actually be relaxed, and that's what we are saying now. I think recently the president was in St. Lucia, was in Brazil. He has been to so many places, and those are bilateral agreements. We hope to see that foreign investment will come to Nigeria. Nigerian investment will also be, you know, in other countries too.
And apart from that, I think we must also this issue of insecurity. Recently, I read a post that said United States was advising
18
our citizens to say that, you know what, if you want to travel to Nigeria, be careful, be sure that you want to go
They
there.
highlighted 18 states that they should not go
Exactly. So those are the things that we need to look into. If you can have a safe place for people, and of course, some Nigerians live here to go over there and talk about a lot of things. Nigeria is not safe. You know, these are some of the reasons why these people come out to say that be careful.
Nobody tells it. Nobody
countries.
will tell your story better than you tell it.
Yeah.
So I think Nigerians should desist from. See, if you want to seek asylum, probably do it a different way. Stop painting Nigeria
like
in a bad light. So the more you talk about Nigeria as a bad country, they are in dark age, they are doing this, they are doing that, there is kidnapping. Even you that you didn't suffer any form of attack, you are claiming asylum, and all you have to do is to paint Nigeria in a very bad shape. So I think Nigerians should desist from actually.
There are some places in the UK that are majorly dominated by the white. You can't stay there because anything can just happen at any time.
And nobody is going to check.
No matter how many years visa they give you in the UK, the US, no matter how fast you get your stay or become a citizen of another country, you will still be a second-class citizen in that country. Meaning that you will never be a pure breed of that particular country. It's either you are a citizen by residence, you are a citizen by marriage, you are a citizen by investment, by birth,
like Kemi.
Like everybody knows. So all that you can be is a second-class citizen in that country, regardless of what position you have attained there.
Well, before we round off this trend watch, I have Singapore held its global top sports with access to 193 destinations, while Afghanistan stayed at the bottom with access to just 25. And the US, once ranked first in 2014, now sits in 10th place.
Exactly. And if they are not careful, they might move away from first 10. Because I read a story like that. If things are not, if they don't put some certain things in place, they might move from that.
Actually, the current trend, since Donald Trump came on board, the current trend has actually, placed the United States also in some way, in bad shape. But then
our conductor is here. So.
We have Canada in the 8th place. I mean, but imagine there was a time that US would definitely top Canada.
Yeah,
but now Canada is in the 8th place.
Well, that brings us to the end of Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. This is the Friday edition. So we say, thank God it's Friday. So as we get out of the studio, we want to advise you that as long as we want to enjoy this weekend, do it minimally. Samson Balogun is my name. Until next week that we shall be meeting again, stay safe out there. Be bold.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Live Extra Friday edition. Like Samson said, we wish you a happy weekend. My name is Pat Aito.
All right, thank you for being a part of the program. Do not forget that teamwork makes the team work, and so to always put in your input every time. My name is Orayemi Adelakon saying good morning.
Òdèrè kòkò àlàáfíà ni, bó wọlé ayọ̀ ni, àtúnilára gbẹ̀dẹ̀gbẹ̀dẹ̀. Hello guys, it's your girl Òdèrè. Keep watching Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class, it's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Grapes are versatile fruits that grow on vines and come in various shapes and colors, including green, red, and purple. They can be enjoyed fresh, dried into raisins, or transformed into juice and wine. Packed with antioxidant, vitamin C, and potassium and zeaxanthin. Grapes Grapes contribute to better eye health. These compounds may help shield against conditions like cataract and age-related macular degeneration, supporting long-term vision. It aids in cancer prevention. Certain compounds found in grapes, including resveratrol and other polyphenols, have demonstrated potential in laboratory and animal studies for inhibiting cancer cell growth. This makes grapes a valuable fruit to consider in a cancer prevention strategy. It enhances digestive health. The fiber content in grapes is beneficial for digestion and can help prevent constipation, promoting a healthy digestive system. It offers additional benefit. Grapes also contribute to immune function due to their vitamin C content and support bone health through their vitamin K and mineral profile. By including grapes in your diet, you can effectively boost your intake of essential nutrients while enjoying a delicious and refreshing fruit. Grapes are versatile fruits that grow on vines and come in various shapes and colors, including green, red, and purple. They can be enjoyed fresh, dried into raisins, or transformed into juice and wine. Packed with antioxidant, vitamin C, and potassium, grapes offer a wealth of nutritional benefits. Incorporating grapes into your diet can greatly enhance your overall health due to their rich array of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Here are some key benefits of grapes. It supports cardiovascular health. Grapes provide a significant source of potassium, which helps in regulating blood pressure. Additionally, the presence of antioxidants like resveratrol may offer protective effects against heart disease, making grapes an excellent addition to a heart-healthy diet. It promotes eye health. With antioxidants such as lutein and zeaxanthin, grapes contribute.
Good morning and welcome to the agenda on Dominion Brokers Group, where we dive into issues that matter to you. I am Chike Ubogu. Right, we're tackling a topic that has sparked debates across the nation, and that's the relevance of state creation in Nigeria today. Is creating more states the answer to our challenges, or is it a distraction from deeper issues? Well, we'll explore this with my guests, but first, let's set the stage here. Right, Nigeria currently has 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. But calls for new states keep coming up. Some say it's about bringing governance closer to the people by creating more states. Well, others argue it's a recipe for inefficiency and bloated costs. This morning, we'll unpack this with facts and insights. There have been reports claiming that the Senate has approved new states in each of the 6 geopolitical zones as follows. From Ogun and Oyo, we have the Ijebu and Ibadan states. And from Anambra, Imo, and Enugu, we have the Anim and the Adada states. From Ondo, Edo, Delta, and Akwa Ibom, there is the Toru Ibe and Obolo state. And from Borno and Adamawa, there is the Savannah state and the Amana state. From Kano and Kaduna, there is the Tiga and the Gurara state. From Kogi and Benue, there is the Okura and the Apa state. However, Senator Abdul Ningi addressed the Senate, dismissing the claims that the Senate's constitution had suggested the creation of 12 states. He characterized these reports as fake, toxic, and irresponsible. Let's get to listen to Senator Ningi this morning.
I will read. And the order says, by the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the Senate President, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there will be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise upon the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted in details to the President of the Senate when he is leave to make it his thought. Mr. President,
yes, proceed.
You recall from Monday last week out to the weekend.
Yes, it's my own.
There has been a ravaging social media report on a purported report that the Committee on Constitutional Review has penciled and proposed 12 states to be created. And therefore the committee is submitting its report to the Senate. Mr. President, I'm a member of the Constitutional Review Committee, I'm equally a member that attended the zonal conference, the zonal constitutional conference committee in Maiduguri. First, our report from the zonal perspective has not been submitted to the main Constitution Review Committee, and I've also asked other zonal leaders. Reports have not been tabled, nor submitted to the main committee. It is therefore imperative that the social media report that the National Assembly has penciled 12 states is fake, is toxic, and is irresponsible media outlets. So it is important, Mr. President, to take this matter to Nigerians, that the Senate has not, for now, sat on any committee's report from the zonal levels. The main committee is yet to even received nor evaluate any report. As a member of the review committee, Constitution Review, we have not. The chairman of the Constitution Review Committee is sat there, the Deputy Senate President. He has also said there was no meeting. So it is important to tell Nigerians to be aware of fake reports, especially tarnishing the image of this hollow chamber. I so submit, Mr. President.
Well, this Senator Nengi came under
All right, that's Senator Abdul Ahmed Nengi there. Joining me this morning in the studio to make some sense out of some of the talking points we'll be discussing today is a political analyst, an in-house analyst, Dolapo Charles Anjorin. Dolapo, good morning. It's good to have you back on the agenda.
Good morning, Mr. Chike. I'm so delighted to be back on the program agenda.
Yeah, well, state creation has been a recurring demand in Nigeria since 1960. Why does this issue keep resurfacing, and is it still relevant today?
Yes, thank you very much. State creation, you know, is the reason why Nigeria is broke. Let me just establish this fact. It is like having a bank, you know, having a head office, you know, for a bank, and this head office that serves as a bank goes on to establish other 36 head offices, you know, with 36 MDs and 36 board of directors, out of which only 2 head offices, you know, services the 34 head offices, you know, and, you know, the other 34 MDs, you know, plays the Super Mario, they collect revenues, and no quality services. So now, you ask yourself, as state creation, has it actually brought governance to the people? Even with the existing states, has it also brought government closer to the people? That is on one hand. Now, back to the question, what are the reasons why the main arguments, you know, for advocating for state creation?
No, before the argument,
Okay.
you know, we're looking at why does this keep coming up? This issue of state creation. It has been on and on, you know, and then you see some people say it's been on for years, you know, after even the creation of the 36 states. Some people have said, okay, if, for example, the call for Ibadan State has been there for years. The call for Ijebu State has been there. The call for Anyoma State, which is almost in the making. That's the Anyoma state. It's almost in the making, comprising of the likes of Ila, Eka, Iselehu, that's Onitsha, and all that. Although Onitsha is still under Anambra State now, but if there's a creation of that Anioma state, then it means Anioma state will still delve into a little bit of Anambra state. That's what it means. However, this keeps resurfacing. Why is it resurfacing? Why is there the call for state creation?
One of the reasons is perceived marginalization.
Okay.
Yes. You would notice that we have over 500 ethnic groups in Nigeria.
Okay.
And even within certain states, take as an example the Delta state that you just mentioned now. Inside Delta, we have Delta Igbos. Minority groups inside states believe that they are being marginalized. And let me also take it from this angle too. You also have the political angle. Take as an instance, Oyo State, for example. Since the returning back to democracy between 1999 and 2025, we have had more indigenes of Ibadan becoming governors of Oyo State. Ogbomosho had only produced a governor.
And that's late
Otubo Akala.
Now they will say that's the Baba Adedibu factor.
Well, whether the Baba Adedibu factor, yeah, he became the governor. Now you have people in Okiogun. The question is, are they not entitled to also assume the position of power? So these are some of the reasons why people are advocating for state creation. Perceived marginalization, political considerations, and even most times developmental and decentralization of projects. Because take as an instance, if you are from, let's say, an Ibadan, you are an Ibadan man and you become a governor, there is a very large tendency that you would focus developmental projects in your zone and other zones will be neglected. We have this case scattered all across the 36 states of the Federation. That is why you still see, even from the same Delta state, I will still refer back to Delta state, you still have the Ibibios and
we have the Jaws, we have the Isokos, we have the Shekiris.
The Ibibios, and I think there's another tribal, there's another ethnic group in Delta who are still fighting over supremacy and who are also still fighting the issue of land disputes between them, just because they felt that the Ibibios, are much more prominent prominent citizens of Delta State. So they see themselves as second-class citizens. So now, even if you create new states, you will still have to deal with the problems of minority ethnic groups in the state, in those new states. So when you take into consideration the perceived marginalization, you also take into consideration the political angle, you find out that these are one of the major reasons why people are advocating for state creation. Towards the race to 2027 now, as an instance in Oyo State, the people of Okiogun are already gearing up. They are making a case that we're going to still have an Ibadan man at the ends of affairs come 2027. So what is our own faith in all of these things? And you also have people in Oyo town, who are also from the typical Oyo environs. They are also making a case. You go to Ogbomosho, the same thing. You go to Ibarakpa, same thing. So this, from the look of things and from what has been happening, it looks like this set of people have seen themselves as just second-class citizens, you know, in, let me say, within a state. So these are the reasons why there is a lot of clamor for state creation. And it has always been political, not because of economic viability or because of economic productivity. What you have had so far is dysfunction, not development in terms of state creation. A lot of states needs to be merged together because they are not offering anything tangible to the Nigerian populace.
You know, there's been this argument for creating states in Nigeria today. And some of the arguments is, yes, more development, grassroots development, and looking at having more local governments too. That's what it means. However, do you think those arguments are valid?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, those arguments are not
that's your personal opinion.
Personal opinion. Okay. They are not valid because if you create more states, it does not equate to creating more schools. It does not equate to creating more healthcare services. What it creates to, what it leads to is you have more politicians, you have more special advisors, you have more local government councillors, which will pose a lot of burden, you know, on the already shrinking economy.
Especially federal allocation.
Exactly. Because the revenue stream remains the same. So that is what it's going to give birth to, not necessarily giving birth to developmental projects.
Now, let's look at it on the flip side. As you are in dissonance with it,
yes,
many people are in concurrence with it too. So why are some people for state creation?
Well, the people who are for state creation are only seen from only one perspective.
Okay.
Which is the political perspective.
Okay.
They are not looking at it from the economic viability side of the coin.
Okay.
Is it viable to have states, to create more states? How are the creation of new states, how are they going to fare in this current economic climate? Because nobody will vote that their federal allocation account be reduced because they want to create more states. Nobody is going to vote in favor of that. So when you advocate for more creation of states, it is because people, I understand that people want inclusion, but at the expense of what? At the altar of what? So you find out that we keep moving in circles. We keep, you know, the status quo. We keep ourselves impoverished because the economic viability of creating more states will not be sustainable as time goes on. If you check the NBS statistics of 2023, only 3 states, you know, can survive without federal allocation accounts.
Before going there,
okay.
You see, basically what you're saying is more states, more costs. Right?
Yes, more states, more costs.
But let's talk about the average Nigerian. So how does state creation, or even the lack of state creation, affect the daily life of an average Nigerian?
Even with the lack of state creation, the average Nigerian is struggling to have access to essential amenities that will make life bearable for them. The average Nigerian is already suffering from poor business environment that has not allowed their businesses to thrive. Without the lack of states creation, the average Nigerian life, you know, is worth nothing. The average Nigerian life is suffering from insecurity. So now, this still begs the question, if we create more states, does it translate to a better life for an average Nigerian? Does it translate to quality life for an average Nigerian? When you look at existing states, that we have at the moment, existing states will rather build airports than fix decaying infrastructures, than fix decaying roads. How many Nigerians ply the air routes, our airports? But meanwhile, existing states finance airports with heavy budgets, most of which is borrowed, and the states, gets indebted. You plunge the state into further debt. Instead of fixing infrastructures, instead of fixing human capital development that will bring meaningful impacts on that state. So when you look at it vis-a-vis creation of new states and existing states, you find out that it will not affect the quality of the average Nigerian life. Already the average Nigerian life is their own local government.
So basically you are saying governance matters more than state creation?
Yes, governance matters more than state creation.
Okay.
So what we should be looking at is fiscal federalism, how to strengthen developmental commissions within zones that will translate into quality lives. So those are the areas we should be looking at, instead of going on this journey in futility, that would not bring anything meaningful to the table. If you check also the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics data, it said 17 states use over 80% of their budgets, to service recurrent expenditures, to service payments and wages of salaries on a monthly basis. How many states can survive without federal allocation? How many? We need to start calling a spade a spade.
But don't you think these states can actually survive? Just that most of these governors are intellectually lazy, as it were.
Even if you create new states, you will still have intellectually lazy governors that will still superintend over those states. So why not? See, if I will be advocating this kind of a thing, I would rather champion that we should collapse a lot of states to cut cost of governance. That is what I would rather advocate.
You're saying we should go back to how it used to be, because when you say the collapse of states, you remember the likes of Adamawa State and Taraba State, where the old Gongola State, and then you have Sokoto and Nasarawa, as it were, used to be one state in the past. And then you had Kebbi State and the other state having to be one state. And then even Oyo State and Osun State used to be one state.
They used to be one state.
Anambra and Enugu used to be one state.
They used to be one state.
So are you saying we should revert to that system of state structure?
Yes. Let us see. State creation looks like I'm rearranging the furniture in this room with a leaking roof. So what is the basis of rearranging the furniture in this very room when your roof is leaking? So it makes no economic sense to me. The advocate and the proponents of those pushing for this state creation should take their time, sit down and look at it from the economic angle. We are already finding it difficult to even feed Nigerians. Now you want to add more burden on the federal budget. So let states take charge of whatever is within their domain and pay taxes to the center.
Okay, so let's look at let's talk security now, and you would say that it's a pressing issue in Nigeria today.
Yes,
but could creating new states help address the challenges of banditry, even kidnapping, insurgency? Do you think it could help stem that tide of insecurity?
I do not agree, because the creation of states during Yakubu Gowon's era did not stop the civil war, the Biafra civil war. So there is no empirical evidence that has proven that creation of more states will stop banditry or terrorism. The reason why we are having banditry and terrorism is because of poverty. It is because of lack. They say an idle hand is a devil's workshop. So when a state has not been able to create conducive environment for our citizens to thrive economically, you would have citizens resorting to so many vices like banditry, terrorism, and armed robbery. So creation of more states will never stem the tide of banditry and terrorism.
Well, let's talk about the process. You know, creating a state in Nigeria is not easy.
Yes.
Well, it involves constitutional amendments, referendum, even approvals. But this process is too cumbersome. Or is it a necessary safeguard? Do you think we should follow that process or just see it as a necessary safeguard?
The process is cumbersome. Because if the process is not cumbersome, what would have is mini states, you know, running riot and causing chaos within the federating units. Before you can say you want to create a state, you need to follow due process. You need the two-thirds buy-in of the National Assembly, both of the upper chamber and the lower chamber, and also the two-thirds buy-ins of the State House of Assembly in different states. And you also need the two-thirds consensus, you know, of the public before you can say we have created so number of states. So I think the process as it is at the moment, I love the process. Before you can say you want to create Ibadan state, you have to go through due process. You cannot just wake up one morning and say, oh, we have Ibadan state. Else, you know, you create chaos in the land.
All right. Before we leave this issue of state creation, I just want to ask this final question on this segment. Is creating more states the answer to our challenges, or is it a distraction?
It's total distraction.
From the deeper issues?
From the deeper issues. It's total distraction.
Total distraction?
Yes. We should focus more on how existing states will be able to stand alone without federal allocation accounts, whereby they will be able to generate, you know, quality internally generated revenue. I think in the last 1 year, the state that have successfully proven that they can generate internally generated revenue, and they can stand on their own without the federal allocation of the federal government is, I think, Rivers State, Lagos State, Ogun State, and actually Akwa Ibom.
How about Anambra State?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So they still depend on the feeding bottle. So creation of new states is just having access to the Niger Delta oil. That is the idea.
So the dynamics now is, why not create the new states, throw away the feeding bottle, and let the states thrive on their own?
What you are trying to talk about now is, if I get you, is restructuring, right?
Maybe. Create more states, throw away the feeding bottle, and let them be on their own.
So we should focus on restructuring. Let us restructure.
So if it goes that way, you'll be fine with creation of states?
I'll be fine with it. In fact, you don't even need to create states, because it's going to bring development, and some of these teething issues on why people want to create states, you know, you begin to see that the agitation will begin to, die down. It will stem the tide.
So now, don't you think, instead of creating states, the constitutional review should just be about creating regions, the 6 geopolitical zones, and then you have only 6 governors in Nigeria? Don't you think that should be a way to work? And then you stop federal allocation and let these regions stand on their own and develop.
I think that will not work, because if you're advocating for this, you are also inviting the problems, you know, that was the existing problems in the primordial 1940s.
So how do you run away from problems if you can't solve them?
No, it is not the function of running away from problems. See, because don't forget that we only had 3 regions before. Then.
Yeah. And later 4.
Yes.
Later 4. The northern region, western region, the eastern region, and the
midwestern region.
Yeah.
So now, because of constant agitation of secession, we created states to accommodate the midwestern region.
Why don't you address the issue?
You cannot have, for example, you cannot have a governor, you know, in superintending over the southwest region. The question is, where would the governor come from? What ethnic group will the governor
so why don't you work on a rotational system where, for example, in the southwest you have about 6 states making up the southwest: Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Lagos, and Osun. The 6 states. Now you have a rotational system among the 6 states.
You have a rotational system among the 6 states.
You have one governor.
Don't forget that in the southwest.
Hold on. You have one governor rotating this seat among these 6 states, and then you have the states you have under the southwest today. You then make them provinces where you have provincial heads, and then the local government become administrative administrations where you have administrative heads, and then it becomes easier for you to have governance through the grassroots. Then you have a regional assembly. Is this rocket science?
This proposition cannot work as far as I can
see. So is it
it.
rocket science?
It's not rocket science.
Okay.
Actually.
So why can't it work?
It cannot work because, number one, in the Yorubaris, for example, let's say southwest, we have the Egbas, we have the Jebus. That's talking of Ogun State.
But they have one governor now.
Yes. If you go to, of course, they have one governor.
Okay.
And even within Ogun State, Ijebu is clamoring for a state. So that is to tell you the discordant tunes from different minority ethnic tribes.
So don't
in
you
those
think,
states,
don't you think,
also arguing for inclusion.
So don't you think if states are created now, and then we go by the way of restructuring, throw away, fling off the bottle, the feeding bottle, and then you create these states, and you say, okay, we want these states to be created. If you create these states today, are you ready to create more states? Because other ethnic groups will start agitating for their own states. Why are you starting something
This is how I think it's going to work.
Okay.
If we restructure Nigeria today, and the states are given the exclusive preserve, you know, to be in charge of their own natural resources.
Okay.
It means that even at the local level, the local government will also be in charge of the natural resources in their own domain. Take as an example in places in Oyo State where you can find granite. So it tells you that the local government areas in those places will be able to, you know, man their own resources, pay taxes to the state government. State government will also oversee the resources in that state and also pay taxes to the federal government. If there is economic prosperity.
Hold on, Dolapo. Why don't you think about demystifying this ethnic bias in the sense that the moment you start creating states, you just mentioned the Ijebu state, for instance.
Yes.
So if you create an Ijebu state today, I hope you'll be ready to have an Egba state.
Exactly.
Are you ready to have an Ibibio state? Are you ready to have an Ishekiri state?
Are
you also ready to have an Ijo state?
That is the reason why I said that state creation is not the way to go.
So why don't you think about this issue of regional system of government?
We cannot go back to regional system of government.
And you said it is because of what happened in the past.
Yes.
Now, why don't fix what happened in the past and
use
it as a template?
Because
what you are doing now is not working.
It has already been fixed.
How?
It has. The problem we are having at the moment is, number one, the problem of inclusion. Number two, the problem of lack. See, if, take as an example, in the United States, before they became United States, those states were already viable before they came together as one state under the umbrella of United States. So let us fight for the viability of every state. That's the first thing to do.
So since you know some states are not viable, why not collapse them into regions?
That is what I said earlier. You cannot collapse them into region. Okay. You can only collapse them, you know, as one state. For example, Osun can be collapsed into Oyo State, but I don't see that happening, because that would take the grace of God for that to happen. You know, we have had 36 states already. We already have 36 problems, over 774 problems at the moment. So let us leave it at that. What we should be looking at is how to fix the current problem, not add to it.
Okay, maybe we run away from the current problem like we did in 1963 Constitution, and then look for another problem to create again, right? Okay, that's according to you. All right, we'll go on this break, and when we come back, more talking points on the agenda. Stick around, don't go away. All right, welcome back from that break. And still the agenda on this dial. Yes, it's Dominion Brokers Group, Dominion Television here. Well, let's look at this, diving into a story that has gripped the Senate. And it's a story of resilience, a story of defiance, a story of democratic courage. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central. She made headlines yesterday. She has also been making headlines. But yesterday, she attempted to return to the National Assembly after a controversial 6-month suspension. Despite a court ruling in her favor, she was barred from entry, sparking a national conversation about justice, gender, and power. Let's get to listen to what transpired. Let's watch what happened at the National Assembly yesterday.
If the court says come back, charge board. They felt it.
Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up.
Are people watching? Come on. Someone is calling you. Cut any call. After 8 years,
Well, that was a trek. It was a long trek yesterday. Dolapo Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has been a trailblazer, Kogi State's first female senator, a lawyer and an activist. She's taken on giants, from corruption at the Ajaokuta steel mill to more recently, Senate President Godswill Akpabio. What makes her stand out as a symbol of bravery?
Well,
Natasha is brave.
Well, I would say that I think maybe it's because she dares to challenge patriarchy.
Patriarchy?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and also political establishment in our states, Kogi State. In 2019, our name was almost wiped off. And when you look at her political journey, she won election. It was taken away from her. She went to court for redress. She won through courts. And it has taken, a tortuous journey for her to get to this place. A lone voice in the midst of so many cacophony of male voice, just for her voice to be heard. And I think in a way she has broken the ceiling to also allow more entrants, from her own gender to enter into politics. If Natasha can speak up, we also too can also speak up.
But if you look at the image of her trekking to the assembly complex yesterday after security blocked her convoy, she walked with grace. Even looking at Aisha Yesufu accompanying her to the assembly complex, you could see bravery, you could see grace. However, let's break it down. Senator Natasha was suspended in March 2025 after alleging sexual harassment by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who denies the claim. Her petition was dismissed on a technicality, and she was accused of unruly behavior for speaking out, over a sitting dispute. A federal high court recently ruled her suspension excessive and unconstitutional. Yet, the Senate barred her return. Rakbo, why is this moment so significant?
In terms of significance, I really don't see any significance.
She's pretty. She's beautiful.
Yes, she's a beautiful woman.
And then she's brave too. She's intelligent.
Yes.
And she's also vociferous to the plight of her constituents. Was that what attracted maybe some male members in the Red Chamber?
I think I want to be careful in the way I, dissect this, because there is no prima facie evidence that has proven that maybe she has been sexually harassed or she has been a subject of constant sexual harassment. But if I were to base this analysis on what the female gender, even outside of power, not talking about Natasha Akpoti now, face in different workplaces, in religious places, you cannot put it past my gender, who get themselves involved in these illicit and disgraceful acts. When you look at let me say, like, I want to be very careful so that I just don't throw I just don't throw allegations.
And that's why I asked you.
Anyhow,
her appearance, her person,
yes,
her courage. And that's why I asked, is this what attracts the male members of the Red Chamber?
You don't even need to possess that courage, that courage as traits. Mere being beautiful alone, mere being pretty alone, would attract attention from the male gender. Of course, the male gender will be interested, but as a responsible man and as a responsible lawmaker, even if she's pretty, you are just only, I think you are only allowed to admire her, compliment her beauty, and keep it stepping, but not using your position as
Okay.
a lawmaker.
And let's talk about gender. Let's talk about the gender angle. You talked about gender.
Yes.
Yeah. Natasha is one of the 4 female senators out of the 109 in the Senate. Her allegations of harassment and subsequent backlash has sparked a broader conversation about women's treatments in Nigerian politics. What's your take on this? How women are being treated, you know, in the political sphere in Nigeria?
You know, naturally, women are seen as a weaker vessel, you know, because they see them as weak. And when you see someone who is weak, you know...
Are they really weak?
Well, some are strong, but their gender is weak. In terms of their frame, physical frame,
okay,
you know, they are weak. And you have that tendency to always want to, you know, treat them as that weaker vessel. But I don't think that should be what should be obtainable, you know, in the political space. You know, having 4 women amongst 109 senators, you know, that's the odds. Those odds are actually too much. You know, sometimes I even wonder, this is away from politics now, like, have I ever even seen a female general in the military?
In Nigerian military?
In the Nigerian military. Can a woman actually rise to the post of a general in the Nigerian military? You know, I've asked myself...
But it's possible. Maybe it's not happened yet, but it's possible. It's
I
like you asking, can a woman be governor in Nigeria? Elected governor in Nigeria.
I think we had one.
We didn't have an elected.
Mama Taraba.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
Even Vejie Etiaba of Anambra State was not elected. It was when the then governor. No, it was when when there was
impeached.
When Peter Obi
was
impeached, Vejie Etiaba became acting governor until the court returned Peter Obi. Yes. So these were not elected. Mama Taraba was almost there, but unfortunately, the result of the election did not favor her.
Did not favor her.
Well, so we've not had an elected female governor. We've not had a general, a chief of defense staff, chief of army staff,
and even an inspector general of police.
Yeah, a female
inspector general of police. So I think the society has raised that bar for the female gender.
Is it cultural?
Yeah, it is cultural.
More of a cultural effect.
Cultural effect that has, you know, transcended, or let me say, spilled into other areas of life. It looks like there's a certain bar that the woman cannot reach. You know, once you get to a certain level, you know, that's the peak you can never aspire to be.
Okay, because of our time, let's quickly get this straight. Public response has been electric, especially on the Natasha's issue. If you see posts on the app X, yes, formerly known as Twitter, where they've called her brainy, bold, even called her patriotic, with activists like Aisha Yesufu with her, standing by her. But there's also this pushback. Some defend the Senate and others question her claims too. How is this shaping public sentiment? Let's see if we can deal with that in 1 minute. How is it, you know, shaping public sentiment?
For me, if I were to be one of Natasha's advisor, I would have asked her not to go to the National Assembly complex. Number one, a 6 months of suspension has not elapsed. That's number one. Number two, the court ruling from the Federal High Court from Justice Binta Iyako did not in any way expressly, you know, condemn, or don't let me use condemn, did not expressly say that she should resume to the National Assembly. You know, the ruling only advised the Senate to take a look at their other rule book again, and you know, maybe try to make adjustments.
Well, talking about the court ruling, she has said it's binding.
Albeit also, the ruling also said it is illegal to suspend a senator, you know, for more than 120 days. So I think the appeal courts should do justice to this issue, and in my own opinion, I also believe that no senator should be suspended, because I consider it as illegal. Because you are an elected senator representing a constituent. And this is also synonymous to what happened in the policy when Mr. President also suspended an elected governor and imposed a sole administrator on that state.
That's in Rivers State.
That's in Rivers State. So I believe these are lacuna in our constitution that the courts need to make an authoritative pronouncement on, you know, going forward, so that the Senate would know where they stand on this issue. And I think I was listening to, is it not Senator Adeyemo yesterday, who said that at the appropriate time, the Senate would, as a body, would sit down and look at that section of their order rule again.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dolapo. We just have to go now because of time. I hope we have more time to delve into this issue and expand it very soon. All right, thank you for featuring on the agenda.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Chike.
Well, let's keep the conversation going. Please do follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The handle is @Dominion Broadcast. On the app X, it is @Dominion Cast. Visit our website at www.dominion.org.ng. My name is Chike Ubo. Stay positive and have a very wonderful midweek.